Hey guys, how's everything? How's everything going? We're starting the show here. We're gonna have our senior research analyst as hopping up today to help us analyze the Bitcoin Treasury company space, what's going on in the latest trends, and also, of course, we're gonna be analyzing deeply Bitcoin and its recent pullback and see where everything takes us. We have a few cool headlines for today that we wanna be speaking of, and also some great analysis coming up for us to have a better perspective of the markets and where everything might be going. As you know, guys, and as we always say here with Borja, this is not financial advice. We will be not giving anything that has to do with financial advice here in the here you can see it clearly in the pop-up, so that's great. And Borja will be joining us probably the second part of the show. Yeah, so let's begin without further ado. Let's begin the show. I'm gonna be bringing up here Digant to the stage with me. Hey Digant, how's it going?
Luca, I can't hear you.
Hey, can you hear me, Digant? Hey. Do you hear me?
Hello.
Meanwhile, Digant, I think had a pretty quick issue. We will start analyzing the Bitcoin markets. So let's kick off with a clean slate of the Bitcoin chart here. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Hope you guys are watching there. And we're gonna start with a clean slate to see, the Bitcoin perspective and its recent pullback, and see what the market gives us in the following weeks, days, hours, whatever. I'm gonna try to pull up Digant real quick. Digant, can
Yeah,
you
hi
can you hear me
Luca.
now?
Yeah,
Hey, how are you going, man?
yeah, I'm good.
Awesome. Okay. So let's begin analyzing the Bitcoin chart, and then we can move to the Bitcoin Treasury companies headlines for the week.
Yeah,
Does that sound good?
yes.
Amazing. So in terms of Bitcoin, of course, we see the daily candles, and we zoom out, and this looks astronomically good. But let's just um, zoom in a little bit and see what the current landscape brings us. For me, we had the latest leg up. Let's say we came here from a range, we could say, over here. If we want to mark it like this, we have our range high and our range lows, right? More or less, it doesn't matter. For me, what's important is the zones and respecting them, general market structure. So in that sense, I think we had our range low and our range high in terms of a lot of weeks. Then we had this beautiful deviation, right? We can see here. Let's mark it out real quick. Here we had our deviation, and basically this was the catalyst for trapping shorts over here. That's my view, the end. Trapping shorts over here, and then being able to pop up basically to where we are now. The question right now here is, honestly, is this a deviation as well, and we will be coming back to the lower range again and just making a huge sideways, in terms of potentially a reaccumulation or a distribution? That's a question as well, in terms of if we're gonna if investors are preparing for another leg up into the what I at least foreseen $135,000 for the near short to mid term. So the question is this another deviation here? And then we're gonna do like another more woozy, and then we can kick off. That's one scenario, right? And the other scenario, which I think has yet to stand, is if we're just testing what was then our high range, and then we're gonna be moving much quicker to the all-time highs, right? For me, those are at least the two scenarios I'm seeing. I'm not bearish in general terms because for me the market has to prove it. So until proven otherwise, we don't have too much reason to believe we're already at a top or anything. Uh, I like the markets to prove that if it will, we're gonna be, the situation. So for me, I have two scenarios in my mind. Of course, guys, as you know, this is not financial advice, but let's. I'm just gonna expose my plan over here. So we have this. We have our latest uh, resistance. Now we're at a new range, basically, which is since the latest up, we're finding us basically this is the mid range. Let me just check out this stuff real quick. If we want to see, the general perspective, for me, these are the levels to see. So if we get a mini, let's say, pullback here, and we can reclaim that for me is a trigger for a long. That's at least my view. Or if we can recover $113,000 more or less. For me, that's the new structure we get to long and to go to the all-time highs. Of course, not financial advice again. And if we start crippling down, for me, well, that would indicate me at least that we lost momentum for the short term, and this is probably another deviation like we had in the bottom, and then we're going to be facing probably the lower range of our 100 to 112, more or less, $1,000. Do you get me, Digant, here?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the general analysis from on my end. How do you see Bitcoin?
I think the second scenario which you explained, like we hover here around 1,08,000, 1,09,000, and then maybe in September we might see rate cuts. So we go side in the sideways direction till we have the rate cut announcement, and after that we might go into the up trajectory.
Yeah,
Although the
that's not bad,
first
man.
scenario, first scenario is also possible, but yeah, I think the second scenario is uh, much more, according to me, like because rate cuts will like 80-90% rate cut will be here in September.
Okay, so you're foreseeing a bullish scenario by September, or
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, and also like I've been looking this morning for you guys to know as well, like liquidations, which I love to see the liquidations map. CoinGlass has been doing a great job at showing them honestly. And if we put like let's zoom out a little bit again here, like 3-day liquidations. For me, liquidations are quite even in terms of longs and shorts. Like there's there's good density above $110,000. $111,000 mostly. There's good density there for liquidating shorts, and there's very good density, to be honest, as well, below $106,000. So I think that for me screams a little bit of a chop on the following days, weeks, a little bit of sideways action, and then be able to be able to have a clean structure for momentum to start to spike up. So that's at least what I'm seeing here. So, guys, that's a bit of a wrap in terms of Bitcoin review. We can continue, Digant, if you want, on the Bitcoin Treasury companies news latest week. If you want, we can go on to like the analysis that NLN Nico provides that we've been reading with Borja, which I think is pretty cool, and then we can like double click and start analyzing together the event,
Yeah,
what the week brought us, and for our curious listeners to have a good grasp of what the market looks like. Does that sound good?
yeah. Sure.
Awesome. Amazing, amazing. So let's start with last week. There were 49 announcements in terms of Bitcoin treasury companies, and 5.3K of Bitcoins bought, it seems. So that's a beautiful number to see. Um, this is getting hotter and hotter in the space, and you love to see it. So there were six new treasury companies that launched with 866 BTC, eight future treasuries announcements with more than 120 million of dollars of worth. Then 21 companies added 4,401 BTC. That's a good number. We will depict together, Digant, where is that money going. Then we have eight plans to buy more BTC, billions worth, six additional treasury related disclosures. So, on the new treasury side, we have AirNet Technology that started with 820 BTC. That's not bad. Um, it seems from yeah. So then we have S Science from Japan that started with 30 BTC. You got to start with something, so it's not nothing is little in this space. The
Yeah.
most important thing is to start. Then we have Bitstrat Holdings Limited, um, which started with a modest 10 BTC. Then we had Red Light Holland from Canada with 3.1 BTC. Then we have 333D. I don't know if you know this one, Digan, but I haven't heard of it. We started with 2 BTC. That's a very modest number. Hope they can, start accumulating some over there.
SWC also started from 2.3,
Oh,
and
that's
today
great.
and today they are at 2,440.
That's an amazing fact, Dian. Very good
Yeah.
for that. Now I'm getting curious if they did that on purpose. If there's a subliminal message over there. And then we find Group AB started with 1.84 BTC. Okay. Then in terms of the future new treasuries, this is more of a headlines. Um, we got well, we got some companies. I don't know if you've heard of any on those. Um, Maybe we can skip that part and go to the purchases, which are for me funnier. Strategy, which basically is basically relentlessly buying BTC. I mean, they are
Yeah.
not stopping any time sooner. Strategy added 3,081 BTC. That's amazing, stacking up over
Common stock, common
622,000.
stock ATM is back for strategy last week, and that's the reason why we are seeing these high numbers.
They are, yeah, they are basically they are selling, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. DDC Enterprise added 320 BTC, very good. Getting over 1,000 BTC already on their treasury. Then Boya Interactive added 290 BTC, getting over 3,500 BTC. LM Funding America 164, Kango 153. MetaPlanet. Do you have any interesting fact there on MetaPlanet, which added 103
So
BTC?
here, like we are seeing a much lesser buy because MetaPlanet has repaid their debt obligations
Okay.
massively. Like their Bitcoin rating has gone up to 53.36 times. So they are focusing to deleverage their balance sheet and open up the space for the MetaPlanet preps. So basically, they have got like green flag from shareholders today. They like all the things which they have planned. They have got green flags on all the three things like visual EGM, increasing number of shares, and MetaPlanet prefs. So shareholders voted yes to all of these, and this is a good news.
Awesome.
So the repayment of debt has been done by MetaPlanet in the last week and even today. So yeah, we will see
Awesome,
preps.
awesome.
Yeah,
Okay. Great. We will definitely be double clicking MetaPlanet because they had some interesting stuff last week as well. So yeah, let's take a look on that later. We have Beat Deer Technologies, which added 89 BTC. H100, which we spoke a lot the latest weeks, they added as well 46 BTC, getting almost to a thousand BTC on their treasury. So good job for them. Smarter Web Company, which are always very active, and it's great to see them with 45 BTC added and almost 2,500 BTC. Then we have Remix Point, 41.52 BTC, and a few other companies which added a small amount of BTC, but yeah, they keep stacking up, so that's great to hear. Okay, so that's basically the wrap in terms of of purchases. Um, More of the future purchases, let's say, kindly announcing 5 billion at the money program. That was amazing. I think you mentioned
so
that to me. Yeah,
kindly MD is basically Nakamoto
yeah,
holding.
exactly.
Yeah,
Amazing number. MetaPlanet also to raise 837 million.
yeah.
Um,
And this is in 2 days, Luca. In 2 days.
that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We'll go into depth of these.
And Smarter Web Company as well raised 3.7 million, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to dig into all those stuff? What was on your mind from last week?
Yeah. I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, putting you up
Yeah.
right now. Amazing. Added.
So guys, if you can see here, approximately 842 or 830 million are waiting to be just subscribed and get into hardcore Bitcoin. 7,500 Bitcoin will be bought. So what is this international offering? Let me tell you. Yeah, on international offering is basically MetaPlanet is offering this as an FPO, like for it's similar to FPO, but it's mainly for international investors. The stock which is going to be issued is basically 3350, but this is only for international institutions or shareholders or retail clients. So this is huge. Like MetaPlanet currently has um, around. Let me share my whole screen so that we will go to the MetaPlanet analytics page. Yeah. Look, the analytics page is visible.
There you are. Yeah. So go on. Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah. So, like as you can see here, currently MetaPlanet has 20,000 bitcoins, and with this, like 7,500 bitcoins are literally waiting to get add, and
Amazing. That's
this is
amazing.
crazy. Like this will happen in just 2 days, like from 9th to 11th. So
And,
9th of September to 11th of September. So literally in 2 days, they will be adding this crazy amount of, they are raising 830 million. Like this is not a joke for them. And
no,
this
it's
is their,
insane. Also,
yeah.
it's a very important amount regarding their current status, right?
Yeah. And this is bare minimum, Luca. Like 180 million shares are, I mean, they are they will be subscribed most probably 100%, and on top of that they have 375 million more. So total, they are planning of 555 million. So go in Japanese. uh, this is
Amazing.
crazy. Like if they are able to raise 555 million, then the amount goes to nearly 2.5 billion, and literally their current Bitcoin NAV is 2 billion. With if they are successful to raise 555 million, like to issue 555 million shares, and they will literally raise like equivalent amount of Bitcoin NAV which currently they have right now. Not all of it, but some of
Amazing.
it
So it
might.
depends on the performance. Yeah.
Yeah. It will depend on the demand side of things, like how much institutions and how much international institutions are interested in MetaPlanet at the current stock price. According to me,
This is amazing.
this is crazy, man. Like in just 2 days,
This
like
is
they will
amazing.
literally raise entire amount of Bitcoin stack which they have accumulated since the Bitcoin adoption from last year. Like if this happens, this is going to be crazy, and we might.
I mean, this is definitely crazy, Digant. Like, I am curious. I was pulling up the chart here in my screen, for MetaPlanet. No, I haven't. I haven't. Your sharing screen, but like,
Okay.
what are the expectations on this? Because if you're telling me, hey, MetaPlanet will basically buy 7,000 BTC
Yeah.
at least in the next 10 days,
Yeah.
which is all occurring also on on 48 hours, and it can be much more. It can basically double even their
Yeah.
current holdings. You're telling me all this. Why
Yeah.
do I don't see the chart exploding itself? What are your thoughts on that?
I think market is clearly missing out the announcement and the potential of MetaPlanet to raise in just a month. Like it's going to get
So you
crazy,
think
and
so you think they're missing on this, right?
yeah, I think market is missing. Like market can stay irrelevant for a long time. I mean,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's very true. That's very true. Um,
and the
okay,
current
that's very interesting.
and the current MNAV is 1.8. So even if they raise 7,500 bitcoins, the MNAV can like go down to 1.5. And for a small company like MetaPlanet, 1.5 MNAV is nothing. Like the pace which they are going, you can see here the historical MNAV for MetaPlanet. They are lying like in the in the bull phase. They go till 8-10 MNAV, and currently we are getting it at 1.89. Nothing of this is financial advice, but yeah, like this is crazy stuff
Yeah,
happening right
they are definitely good prices in terms of the relation of the NAV. One would argue, if I needed to like um, have a negative view, or try to counterbalance what we're talking about, which is of course incredibly bullish for them to buy 7,000 BTC at least. So that's insane. I will be definitely putting on some alarms to see how the performance takes on this, and we will be sharing it with you guys here in the show. But like, what I'm very curious of is, I mean, one could argue that the MNAV is a little bit low, or lower definitely than what they could have done in the past, right? Because if they did a deal, what do you think if they did a deal like this, for example, in May, or what are your thoughts on that?
Luca, on this, like they have to increase the number of shares. So increasing number of shares are on. They got approval for it just today.
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. So it wasn't because they didn't want it, but they couldn't, right?
Yeah.
because definitely timing would have served them much better
Yeah,
cases
on that
of
front,
doing
that's
this
right.
deal, right?
But yeah, like imagine like the stock issuance is also be getting to go up. Like 555 million is not a small number for a company like MetaPlanet. Their current moving strike warrant, their ATM like thing is currently 555 million. Like the weekly they do ATM like thing in Japan. So for that, for literally the 2 year or 1 year time period which they have, for that time period they have 555 million shares to hit ATM, like to hit ATM daily. And 555 million shares are getting to be subscribed in just 2 days. This is like I mean, I don't know how to explain the this thing. Like basically the whole capital raise which they could have done via ATM in the whole year, this is going to be get done in just 2 days.
No,
Like
no,
this
it's
this
really
is
insane,
crazy.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to just buy and accumulate some more MetaPlanet. Of course, guys, this is not financial advice. We're analyzing this live with you and thinking it out loud because I think it's very interesting and will be very interesting when it happens. We will be definitely paying attention to that so that we can share it with you guys here, right? Okay, so this is basically the wrap of MetaPlanet. Digant, anything else here on MetaPlanet itself?
So on the negative point side of thing, like Luca, as you were explaining in the chart, the first case, like if first scenario plays in, then all these assumptions are according to the current stock price of MetaPlanet. But what if Bitcoin crashes to maybe the levels which you talked about, like 80K or 85K levels? Then the stock will also go down. Then these assumptions which we have made here, then they do not hold true. So this is also dependent on Bitcoin being stable here, and also MNAV not getting compressed at the current level. Like MNAV can go to one also. Like we don't know the future.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. We surely have to pay attention on that as well, of course.
these these things might happen. So like we don't know what will happen in next coming 10-15 days. But given the fact that we have Fed rate cuts, and given the fact that Bitcoin remains sideways at least and not go down, or maybe go up, like anything can happen. But and now can go to one, like this is one risk. Bitcoin can go down, this is the second risk. And yeah, things can happen. And maybe market is Bitcoin treasury companies generally rely mainly on Bitcoin strength. So if Bitcoin is in the upward trend, then it's much easier for these treasury companies to raise more and more funds. And
Yeah, that
that's
makes sense.
maybe Luca, that is the reason people are not figuring out about the MetaPlanet stock right now. Like they might
Yeah,
be
I
like,
mean, of course that. I mean, we talked this in the show last week with Sinks. That basically, if you're bearish on BTC, I think big treasury companies might be less interesting in that sense because they are essentially they are a leverage play on BTC, right? Because I mean, what they're offering, or their value proposition, at least on my understanding, is basically uh, the ability. They have to convince people that they have the ability to earn more BTC per share than simply buying BTC, right? I mean, um, so the complete assumption on that is that basically you want to buy BTC, because if not, it's I mean, if not, it would be pure speculation. It's not investing in, at least on my end.
yeah,
So of course, if people are not bullish on BTC, they will probably won't be, or there will be even less bullish or bearish or more bearish in Bitcoin treasury companies. And that, I think, is very important for us to lay out there, Digan, because we're kicking off on the assumption that we have a bullish BTC, right? Because
Yeah,
if not, we will be seeing more like opportunity buys of an accumulation buys of these companies. Because in the long term, of course, we are always going to be bullish on the thesis of Bitcoin, right? So I think
yeah,
that's great, and that's part of the analysis we will be going over week by week, right?
yeah.
Okay, so what other company can we see, Digan, that you think was interesting for us to get a status on since last week?
Yeah. Just a last thing to add here, Luca, is the MetaPlanet will be stopping their ATM like MSW thing for a whole month till 30th September, starting from 3rd of September. So the sell pressure in the stock is stopped by the company.
Okay.
And one more reason why MetaPlanet stock is going down is the thing like one big hedge fund is short on MetaPlanet. So the extra sell pressure which comes via ATM issuance is stopped by the company for the whole month. So this is one thing which I wanted to add here in MetaPlanet. And yeah, that's it for MetaPlanet,
Okay.
and we can
All right, all right, all right.
go
Okay, what
for
else do we have?
SWC. So SWC made some great announcements in just 5 days. Like in 5 days, they have auditor upgrade, they have advisor upgrade, and they have CFO, new CFO coming in, who has served as his ex FTSE 250. Like he was the CFO in one of the top 250 companies of the UK, and this is like crazy thing happening for SWC as well. Like this is necessary. Like earlier they had Adler Shine as their auditor, which was a small boutique firm, and now they have upgraded their auditor to like PKF is basically top 10 or top 12 auditor out there in the UK. So this is bullish from an investor side of a thing. So when smart money wants to invest in companies, then they focus on these kind of things like who is the auditor, who are the advisors. Like the advisor upgrade to Strand Hansen is also great. Like they have some experience in raising money in convertible bonds and preferred stocks. So this is the reason why they have an advisor upgrade of the capital markets to Strand Hansen, because these Bitcoin treasury companies are in a constant phase of raising new and new capital. And
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought as well when I read the headline. It's like I think one of the most important things, and you see it with Sailor every day because he's honestly crushing this market. He's doing so well in terms of what we were speaking before of the relentlessness of the
yeah,
buying of Bitcoin and the audacity in which he does it. Because he invents new ways and new instruments, new financial instruments to make that happen, and that is amazing to see, honestly. And what I think will be key here, which is also where I think you're going, Digant, is these Bitcoin treasury companies, they need, of course, they need the vision and the relentlessness, which I think is key, but they also need, because this is happening in so many different jurisdictions and countries and
yeah,
and regions. They need to reinvent the way they raise money, and they need new ways to leverage those stuffs. Also, always paying attention, as what we were mentioning before, a potential bearish Bitcoin, right? So I think that is very important. So what's your take on that in terms of the financing of Smarter Web Company and everything?
Yeah, that's very important point, Luca. Like they have to keep the reflexive loop on like continuously. They have to be in this raising and raising money kind of loop, raising money by Bitcoin, raising money by Bitcoin. So currently, because the MNAV is in the compression phase, as we like we have our one more article on convertible bonds. So Smarter Web company launched this Smarter Convert, wherein the convertible bond is denominated in Bitcoin. So they don't need to pay any interest, and if the share price outperforms uh, the investors who have deposited Bitcoin, they convert into shares, and Bitcoin is into the company's balance sheet. And if not, the Bitcoins are returned. So this is like win-win for a company and for investor as well, because in case of fiat denominated convertible bonds, let's say share price goes down, Bitcoin goes down, and then the company has to pay fiat amount which they have raised via convertible bond into the future. But in case of Bitcoin denominated convertible bonds, if you raise 100 Bitcoins and even if Bitcoin goes down, you just have to pay back the 100 Bitcoins.
Yeah, you're basically hedged in terms of coin, right?
Yeah, you are hedged to the fiat price. You don't care about the fiat price of Bitcoin.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that play definitely has been getting popular, right? Because we've seen some companies do that before. Um, which are the companies right now that are applying something like this?
Currently, I think SWC is might be because they have this Strand Hansen advisor upgrade, and this Strand Hansen is experienced in doing convertible bonds, preferred stocks. So, and
Awesome.
also this thing is leading them to get into LSE uplisting. Like they will get onto London Stock Exchange. What will happen if they go into London Stock Exchange? Liquidity will increase massively, and the main thing for any Bitcoin treasury company is to have liquidity in their stock so that they can tap a ATM like thing and keep continuing their reflexive loop. And this is positive, and the reason why I think Andrew is doing this auditor upgrade, advisor upgrade, and appointing CFO who has experience of working in top 250 companies of UK. This is not a small move for a company like SWC. Like they are targeting to get into LSE, and then from there the reflexive loop can be tapped more and more into it. So this is
Perfect.
what,
Perfect.
yeah, this is the update
And
on
and
SWC.
and anything else that the audience should know of SWC before we go to a quick commercial and we keep on analyzing Bitcoin treasury companies?
Yeah. So as of now, I think there is no further update. These were the updates on SWC and MetaPlanet.
All right, Digant. Are you okay with us going to a very quick 1 minute commercial and we keep on analyzing other companies?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Amazing. Okay, guys, we'll be up in a minute. Okay, so we're back into the show. What an amazing, what an amazing advertising we have. I was watching the videos and got a laugh, you know. So amazing to see. Okay, Dian. So we can continue with our analysis of treasury companies. I think last week gave us very good stuff to talk about, so that's great. We've been already reviewing MetaPlanet and Smarter Web Company, so it's been amazing overall. And for the folks that missed that, you will be able to see that recorded, and for the ones that already seen that. Let's continue building insights on Bitcoin treasury companies. Yeah, what do you want to analyze next?
Luca, I think I had two things like SWC and MetaPlanet from my side as an update.
Okay, so no other cool treasury companies.
Mm, I mean, these were two big announcements which were made, but
Yeah,
we can do overview
yeah,
of comparison maybe of these
yeah.
Bitcoin
Let's do
treasury.
that. Let's do that, and I'll add some comments upon it. Yeah. Which one do you want to start with, or what general stuff?
So there was a tweet by Ragnar last week on the performance of Bitcoin treasury companies in the last month or maybe last quarter. Let me just quickly get to that tweet and we can discuss on that.
Okay, amazing. Let's do that. Um, do you have? I'm gonna pull up your screen. Oh, you're
Yeah,
not sharing, right? Just let me know, and I'll pull you up.
yeah,
We have
yeah.
330 viewers right now, so let's fill them up with some knowledge, on treasury companies. Okay, you're up on the stage right now.
Yeah. So this was the Q3 Bitcoin yield ranking by Ragnar. So according to that, H100 gave a Bitcoin yield of 232%. SWC is similar, like 197%. MetaPlanet is 29%. Capital B is 18.2 and MSTR is 4.8. So for SWC, it's
That's
good
amazing.
as compared to H100. Like H100 is smaller as compared to SWC. Like
Yeah, the
uh,
numbers the numbers
not
stack up faster.
not much difference, but still SWC is doing good from my point of view. And also, H100 is doing great. Like the market in which they operate is like not a big market like UK. H100 is a Swedish Bitcoin treasury company. So for the team who is raising funds continuously, it's great for execution from their side. Like UK is a bigger market as compared to the Nordic
Yeah.
and Swedish markets.
And what do you think are the next steps for the H100?
H100, I mean, for them, they will structure an ATM like thing, most probably sooner rather than later. For now, I think ATM is the most key thing which they might look into it. And also, I was seeing the interview of Sander Anderson, the CEO of H100, wherein he also talked about this thing. Uh, so structuring ATM like thing will allow them to keep the flywheel on continuously, and this is the main thing for them basically. And yeah, for H100, I think this is the main thing. But also, I want to talk about the months to cover ranking, again given by Ragnar. So Luca, this is also interesting. Like um, for example, for the audience who don't understand this metric, is like months to cover ranking is like this. Months to cover is the metric is like this. So basically, if you pay two times premium or two times MNAV for a Bitcoin treasury company right now, so basically, you are giving 100% premium for a two times MNAV. So, how much amount of time will you require to like get that premium back via the Bitcoin yield which these Bitcoin treasury companies generate? So, this is basically months to cover MNAV. So for H100 and SWC, the months to cover is literally 1.4 months. So after maybe we can assume 2 months, you are like if you paid 2 times more, then you are covered. Like after 2 months, you have as much amount of bitcoins sets per share which you paid today in just 2 months, and after that, whatever amount of bitcoin yield a company is generating, that is just basically free bitcoins for you. So let's think of it from a Bitcoin miner kind of a perspective. So when you buy a Bitcoin miner machine or ASIC, like depending on the electricity rates which you have in your country or in your
Yeah.
area, um, like the to recover the cost of that Bitcoin ASIC, there's a period. So after that period, whatever the ASIC generates, that is free Bitcoin for you. So this is similar for Bitcoin treasury company as well. So in the start, you are paying a premium to them, and because they are generating Bitcoin yield, obviously. And after this, after that, there will be a some point into the future where this premium will be covered, and after this point, then it's like free Bitcoin for you, free Bitcoin yield for you.
Yeah, that's very
Obviously,
interesting.
obviously, Bitcoin is with the company, and risks are there as compared to your self
Yeah, of
custody.
course.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but it's
still,
an interesting concept for the people to take a grasp
to,
on, you know.
to analyze. And Luca, if you compare this metric with traditional fiat companies, this is insane. Like, if you are aware, um, the PE ratio which these
Yeah.
traditional fiat companies have is like 30, 40, 50, and even companies like Palantir have 500 and 600 PE ratio. Literally, um, you you are giving 600 years of earnings to a company. So this is crazy. Like when you think from that point of view, uh, the money which you are paying as a premium to this Bitcoin treasury company is literally peanuts. Like 1.4 months is nothing.
Yeah,
Also,
that's very interesting, honestly, to take a look on and to also follow week by week, because I think that this will be, you know, this will be taking its own evolution in that sense, you know, and its own maturity, which I think it will be very interesting for us to see and to keep on comparing to the equities market, right? Um, Good, good, good. What else do we have, Digant? I was reading this morning. Coinbase added also, which we didn't cover in the weekly digest, but Coinbase added last week. I think like 250, 2,500 BTC to the treasury, and they are already on the top 10 companies, which I think is interesting because Coinbase is not a Bitcoin treasury company itself. Of course, it's more of a an amazing company holding BTC, right? Like, um, but you know, yeah, they entered. That's there, the top 10.
yeah,
Um, Top 10 treasury holdings or Bitcoin holdings. I mean, of course, they have, I think, an incredible leverage for doing this because, of course, they have a great revenue business, right? And have you seen other, like, not Bitcoin treasury companies, but companies holding Bitcoin, let's say? Because another one that went uh, like short time ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Bullish. I don't know if you heard
yeah,
of
bullish.
Bullish, but it's a crypto company. Oh, they're number five. Oh my god. They went to market, like they IPO'd I think 2 weeks ago or something like that. They had an amazing IPO.
Yeah,
I think they doubled in the day. So it was one of the best IPOs of the year, that's for sure. And yeah, they're already stacking incredible BTC that they had undercover, you know. So that's amazing to see as well. You know, it's good to see this mix on the industry, you know, of Bitcoin treasury companies itself, and also companies holding BTC, and those trends keep on going up, which is lovely to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this space is getting in a crazy momentum. Like Bitcoin treasury companies are going higher and higher, buying more and more Bitcoin. And what I think, Luca, is the Bitcoin treasury companies who are doing this raising is because there are some arbitrage in a particular jurisdiction or a particular geography. So there's a capital with mandate, obviously and always, which is
Yeah, let's get in a little bit into that, Divan, because I had this question before, which was basically like, where's the leverage right now? Not who is having leverage, but where is it? In terms of either country. Like, if you had to analyze buying a company, a big treasury company, imagine everything's the same in terms of holdings, and what not, MNAV or whatever. But imagine you had to choose between a Bitcoin treasury company which is in the US or a Bitcoin treasury company which is elsewhere. Like, what would you be looking about around there?
so, Luca, here it's basic. Like, if a geography is highly anti-Bitcoin, or if a country is highly anti-Bitcoin, or regulations are not clear, then like getting a Bitcoin treasury company into that jurisdiction and basically a regulated wrapper around Bitcoin makes real sense. And that's the reason why this is Jet King Infotrend. This is basically the one and only Bitcoin treasury company in India. So in India, we don't have access to Bitcoin ETF, nothing like we don't have an regulated wrapper of Bitcoin in India. But if you see in US, in EU, and most of the Western nations, they have access to Bitcoin ETF, and they can buy Bitcoin in their retirement accounts, in their general stock, like in their general brokerage account, which is not which is not the case here in India, and which was also not the case in the UK. And that's the reason why SWC in the start of their journey got a crazy MNAV. Like they had an MNAV of around 20
That's
because
very interesting, man. Because
yeah,
also India is a big market as well.
yeah, India is
It's
a big
it's
market. I think India's equity
it's
market is around
probably the
fifth largest
fourth.
or fourth largest. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, probably fourth or fifth. That's why. I mean, this is the first company getting out there.
yeah. Jet King is the first company out there.
I think that will be very interesting. That's a very good point, because in terms of leverage, that's what real leverage is built upon. A big market which doesn't have many options to buy Bitcoin, other than a company like this one. That's great. And is this company new, or do they have an operating business, or
They have an operating business. So they
what do they
are
do?
kind of a IT kind of company which educates like engineers. So they have an educational IT business, something related to that. So they train engineers to learn coding and all of that stuff, and then get into traditional IT companies, get job there. So they are kind of
Amazing.
education.
And have you invested in this one?
So Luca, this stock is continuously into the upper circuit. So that's the
It's
reason why.
insane. It's
Uh,
insane, man. So
and
it has made 500% in what, since January.
so they launched their Bitcoin treasury strategy last year in November.
So year
But
to date, they are 234%. What
yeah,
an amazing run out.
and Luca, you can see the opposite trend here. Like if you see Bitcoin treasury companies out in the global markets, the chart is up and then down. Currently, they are going down.
Yeah,
But
that's
so
very
Jet
true.
King, it's complete opposite. And this is the point of regulations. Because Bitcoin is not regulated, Indian public is investing at Jet King at 12 times MNAV. Like,
Oh my God.
so, like, we currently don't have any option to get direct access to Bitcoin in a wrapped, regulated manner, and that's the reason why Jet King is trading at 12 times M9.
That's
So,
very interesting, man. What are the holdings?
they are small.
Oh,
First in
21.
Luka, because currently they are. The upper circuit, the circuits thing is like bad for them because they are not able to raise more and more money because of these circuits. And Indian equity markets are not that much open as compared to Western markets. So these Western markets have. Let's say for example US has ATM, EU has ATM like thing, which capital B has ATM like thing, SWC has ATM like thing. In Japan, MetaPlanet has moving strike warrants. So in these cases, EU, US, Japan, the upper circuit and lower circuit ranges are much higher. So currently, because of the smaller market cap size, currently they are around 200 odd crore Indian rupees. So in dollar terms, it's literally 28 million. Um,
Oh, I
so
see, I see. So
that
they
is
so
not
they have a sort of a
yeah.
cap there or a limitation there.
Yeah, and the ATM like thing, which I think they should have structuring this in India is hard. So, and one more thing, why the founders are slow in adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet is because in India we don't have a clear regulation right now for Bitcoin. So, if
Yeah.
you see in EU they have MiCA regulations. In the US, Bitcoin is seen as commodity, but in India, like Bitcoin, a clear regulation is not out there. And for a
Yeah,
public
it's definitely in
company,
the gray zone. Yeah.
yeah, and for a public company to do ATM raises, then they might get into the eyes of the regulator, and they might punish them. And that's the reason why they are not aggressively tapping this MNAV and raising more and more Bitcoin, because this is risk for them.
I
Let's
get it.
say if they issue more and more shares, like their preference shares, uh, so they are doing this preferential share allotment for a limited group of investors. So
Yeah.
they are HNIs basically, who have access to this basically 1 CR Indian rupees or 2 CR. Then you can get into this HNI round. Uh,
I
but
get it.
these
So
things
so
are
I
slow.
guess that's the trade-off, right? The end. Like
Yeah,
that's the trade-off is like, yeah, you have a great opportunity if you're the first in the market and there's no other, like there's no other option of buying BTC and it's insane and you're the only one in the mountain. But then of course you have the trade-off of um, the lack of possibility of stacking aggressively and relentlessly, which is what
yeah.
we've been analyzing today in terms of the best Bitcoin treasury companies out there, right?
Yeah. So once we like in India, we have Bitcoin regulations clear, then this company can literally just go out in the market and continue raising funds in a higher speed, which is not right now. So like
Amazing, amazing.
I have
Okay,
been to their headquarters, and they keep hosting meetups. And in there, the founder is talking about like we are right now concerned about the regulatory point of Bitcoin, and when Bitcoin gets regulated, then we will get aggressive in acquiring more and more Bitcoin. So
amazing. Okay, so Diant, Borja is also joining us now to make our last half hour, let's say, of our show, which I think it's going amazing in terms of
Hey guys, what's up? What up?
there's
What up?
Borja.
hey Borka,
How
hi.
are you, Ian? How are you, Luca?
How are you,
Yeah.
man? We're having fun.
What were you looking at?
Well, we've been
So
analyzing a little bit of everything across the market in terms of Bitcoin treasury companies. We've seen what the best ones have been doing last week. We made the recap also of Nico, which we've been doing the latest weeks as well, and we've been analyzing the first company in India who launched this year and is doing amazing in terms of yield. But was having some tough times in terms of stacking up their BTC treasury. So yeah,
Nice. You want to see the latest product for the Bitcoin Treasuries space?
let's
yeah,
see, let's see.
This is coming up.
That's
great,
amazing.
amazing.
This is coming up, chiquitas. We have ETFs, and then well, all the same good old stuff. But
That's
yeah.
great, man.
So what's up, man? What's the latest? Do we have any big purchases today, guys?
Today we have purchased from MetaPlanet and yeah, basically MetaPlanet only.
How much Bitcoin for today?
Around 1,000 Bitcoin, 1,009 Bitcoins. Also, they have repaid debt because they have lined up their pref issue. Uh, you might have got insights in Hong Kong Asia Conference Gorkha about
The
their things.
the aunt.
Yeah.
Please tell me something. How are you seeing like Bitcoin treasury companies in this mini in this mini dip? And Luca, I I missed your morning analysis. Since we're here, and maybe for the audience, what's the quick check on Bitcoin? And then we can do the understand the dip a little bit, because I think actually that for Bitcoin treasury companies, maybe the dip is not a bad thing, you know. The chance to accumulate lower. Um,
Yeah.
but what's the quick check on BTC?
Yeah, in terms of Bitcoin, what we were talking on Digant, and I'll pull my screen real quick. Oh, it's there. Let's add it to stage real quick so that for the folks that missed it as well. For me, like we cleaned the chart today with Digant, and like for me, this range, which was basically since November till we can say maybe or not that's to be confirmed, but let's say since the beginning of July, this has been basically the range which had the deviation, right? Came back into it, and I think that was the gasoline, let's say, for basically trapping late shorters and coming up and doing our two leg up, right? I think we're at the cusp of getting to know if this is a deviation as well, and we have a much longer, for me, that would be a much longer sideways action in terms of digesting this big move up clearly that we had since September 23, right? That's one scenario. But for me, until proven otherwise, we have a break of structure here into a long for all-time highs. I mean, what will confirm this for me definitely is closing a couple of days below this. For me, this is this is basically what would say, hey, clearly this is a deviation like we had here, nothing different, and we will continue to just range until proven otherwise. That's the two for me scenarios I'm seeing for now. Things haven't changed. We had low liquidity last days. We're just at range highs of the current structure. That's the truth.
And the end, how are you seeing the capacity to raise capital in a dip? What's your view? Because I mean, Bitcoin at 108, the first time we got here was super sexy. Maybe Bitcoin here at 108, like you, Luca, are saying, it could be just a retest of the lower, like let's say 120 to 110, or it could be actually like a more kind of breakdown, at least for a couple of weeks. I mean, we also have to know that September. So, Digan, what's your view on BTCTCs?
So, Borka, on the Bitcoin Treasury company's update, me and Luca were discussing on MetaPlanet. So, they are doing this crazy capital raise, which is out there in this month. So, they have these FPO kind of a thing, international offering, which they are offering international offering to the international institutions. Basically, the share issued will be 3350, but the participants here will be international institutional investors. So this raise, Borka, this raise is crazy. Like they have their 555 million plan of issuing shares and doing ATM and moving strike warrants, but in this FPO or international offering, which they will be doing in this month, this is a 2 day window. In these 2 days, they are like minimum 180 million shares will be issued, and at current price, if Bitcoin remains at this price, if MetaPlanet share remains at these price levels, then they will be raising around 840 million in 2 days, and that's equal to 7,500 bitcoins right now. uh,
Wow.
so currently they have 20,000 bitcoins and they will be having capital to buy 7,500 bitcoins in just a single offering. So this is crazy. And on top of that, if you are not bullish on this news, on top of that, we have one more. What do we say this like? They have extra capacity to raise green shoe option basically of 375 million more shares. So if they get more demand from the institutional investors, then this 375 million more shares window will kick in, and they can raise more. So if they raise this amount, then this goes to 2.5 billion.
So more than
Basically,
what I already have.
basically, I mean, I don't know how much interest is there out there, but yeah, the minimum 180 million shares will definitely get subscribed, because underwriter has promised that 180 million will be minimum, bare minimum, which is getting to get subscribed. From MetaPlanet side of point, I think they are doing great in capital raising kind of thing. But on the other treasury companies, the things are difficult right now because of lower MNAV and the trending down of share price. The ATM, they can't do ATM in these harsh scenarios, because if they do ATM, then they are participating in selling the shares and pushing their share price down. And that's the reason why the Bitcoin's new buys are getting lower and lower. But this is the time wherein they can do more debt like kind of issuance, which Smarter Web company did with their smarter converts. So it
Mhm.
was Bitcoin denominated convertible bond. So I think this is time for Bitcoin treasury companies to get some leverage into their balance sheet and do some debt like or some quasi debt like kind of a thing, and utilize this time to stack Bitcoin from building more leverage at this point in time, which what I think. Because currently these Bitcoin treasury companies till now they were just playing the game of MNAV. Higher MNAV, raise more, like issue more shares, raise the capital, buy Bitcoin. Higher MNAV, raise. So this loop was going through, but in the phase of MNAV compression, I think they should pivot to debt-like strategy, and basically things like convertible bonds or Bitcoin denominated convert is the thing which they can go into, and yeah, and wait for Bitcoin to go up, and then they can again go back into MNAV expansion phase.
So where are we going from here?
So, I mean, I can't predict, but I think this is good point of entry. Like not financial advice,
Like,
but from my
yeah. Also, Digan, there, what we were analyzing before with MetaPlanet, this is like the chart, like either hasn't listened the news, you know, or I don't know what happened, but like there's not much of of an expectation, you know, in terms of the recent news. To be honest, like there's basically no reaction yet, right? Which is, I think, at least a little bit weird. Digan there has its opinion that they might not be paying too good of an attention, or they think that that selling will not succeed very, or they're clearly not very bullish because charts sitting at what 60+% of a drawdown since the all-time high, right? More or less. So I think it will be interesting to see. This was the next week, right? I think.
so basically the raise will be around 9th of September to 11th of September.
Yeah. Okay. So next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting, man. We also talk a little bit, Borja, that Coinbase bought some BTC as well.
How much? I didn't see.
2,500. They're now the 10th biggest treasury. Yeah, and Brian tweeted Coinbase is long BTC, so he sounded sure about that.
Bueno, other news we can bring is we were in Hong Kong. We got to spend a lot of time with Andrew Webley for Smart Web. For those that are watching, we'll be dropping an interview with Andrew soon this week. We also spent much of time with Mark Moss from Satsuma. He was saying on our interview that Satsuma conducted the largest Bitcoin treasury company raise in the UK, 200 million in one go. They just finished and announced on our show the closing of the Bitcoin purchase. They purchased not exactly, but nearly an estimate of 2,000 Bitcoin. What else can we say from? Well, we were at the symposium. The team from LQWD was there, from blockchain, from Capital B, was there. The team at MetaPlanet, Dylan from MetaPlanet. It was really, really good. I would say we're bullish. We continue to be bullish. At least on the capital raises, it looks like the flywheel is still going on. Again, this is a very dynamic market, though. We gotta see how the dip impacts on raises. And for everybody that is watching, the important thing to remember is that all of these raises, capital raises, and things take time. So actually, when somebody raises money today, they've been working for some weeks or some days if the fundraisers are very. Raising money is a result of inertia, let's say. So the impact of the dip, and if Bitcoin continues to go sideways at these levels, we will see the impact of these price levels maybe in 2 weeks. So we shall see. We shall see how the thing moves along in the near future.
And this is one of the reasons, Borka, why MetaPlanet stock might have not yet not gone up, because maybe investors are looking, like Luca mentioned, a scenario wherein Bitcoin can break those levels and go down, and in that case, the 7,000 Bitcoin which they are adding is based on the current share price, and if Bitcoin goes down, obviously their share price will also go down. So maybe market is thinking in that scenario as well, of that scenario.
Good. So, bueno,
That can
Gigant,
happen.
for the people who are watching, when are we posting? How is our week looking in terms of research, of insight? What can we, what do we have to say to the Bitcoin Treasuries community?
So we will be coming with the research on MetaPlanet prefs. So stay tuned. And also we have our part two on our strategy article STRC as the iPhone moment. So basically in that article we will be explaining you about Bitcoin income and how preferred stocks add much more leverage into the Bitcoin treasury company, and at MNAVs of 1, even if the stock is at MNAV of 1 or 2, the preferred stocks act as if like the stock is at MNAV of 12. So basically it's called MNAV equivalent. So whenever you raise money from preferred stock, let's say STRC, the MNAV equivalent is around 13 or 14. So this is the thing which we have explained in that article. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we're also launching our blog kind of research hub this week, which will let the late subscribers of our newsletter be able to grab every article we will be writing there, Digant, which I think will be amazing, and we will also be sharing a lot of stuff, not only Bitcoin treasury companies, but also like us building in public and some more insights in terms of derivatives in the market and everything there is from the Bitcoin lens type of world, you know. So I think it will be cool for you guys to tune in there.
Amazing. Che, bueno, nada, we're gonna be then community, family. We're gonna be posting that research later. Then stay sharp because I think there's plenty of interesting alpha insight. So yeah, and we have the product up and coming for Bitcoin treasures. And so yeah, future is looking bright.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's make it.
Bueno, what else do we have?
I think honestly we covered a lot of stuff today. I don't know, Digant, about you, if you had any other relevant thing for the audience.
I think for today, that's it, what I had.
Alrighty. Bueno, guys, let's go. Let's keep it up. We'll stay sharp for Roxom's research and analysis for the Bitcoin treasury communities. We'll be posting a bunch of alpha. We're also stay sharp for what we're preparing for the Bitcoin treasuries people, the product. And yeah, let's fucking go. Let's see what's ahead of us for this week.
Let's go, guys.